Kuf Amud Aleph. Should put the video that way. This way people can't fall asleep if they know they're being recorded. It's okay. God records everything. Kuf Amud Aleph. Zak the Gemara. Levi bar Shmuel v'Rav Huna bar Chia havu kam misakne mad pecho sifrei debei Rabbi Yehuda. They were going in and they were fixing the mantles of the scrolls of Rabbi Yehuda.
Right. Where are you?
Kuf Amud Aleph. Levi bar Shmuel.
How many lines?
I don't know. 7.
7.
Kimata Megillas Esther Amri ha Megillas Esther lo bayim ad pachas. So when they got to Megillas Esther, they said that Megillas Esther doesn't need mantles. Amr lahus, Rabbi Yehuda said, Ki agavna nami michzi ki apikorsu. So these people also apikorsim. Why? Because they didn't ask, does Megillas Esther need a mantle? They were sort of giving a psak in front of their Rabbi Yehuda and saying, Megillas Esther doesn't need mantles. And the proper thing would have been to at least ask and confirm whether they needed to have mantles or not. Zok the Gemara of Nachman Amar Ze'akar Rabbi Bishmo. That's not just an example of an apikors. An example of an apikors is somebody who calls their Rebbe by his name. Dam Rabbi Yochanan Mibnei Man Nenash Gechazim Neshakar LeRabbo Bishmo. Shenamar Vayomer Gechazi Adoni Amelech Zos Ha'isha V'zeh B'no Asher Hechiyah Elisha. So you see that Gechazi called his Rabbo Elisha. He called him by his first name. Yasser Rabbi Yirmiyah Kamed Rabbi Zera V'Yasser V'Kamar. Rabbi Yirmiyah said the following in front of Rabbi Zera. So in the future, Kodesh Baruch Hu will have a nachal, a stream come from the Kodesh Kadashim, and along this stream will be a lot of treats, a lot of trees with delicious fruit. Shenamar, as it says in the pasuk, V'ala nachal yaleh al svaso mizeh mizeh kol eitz machal lo yibol alei v'lo yitom piryo l'chadashav yivaker ki memav min hamikdash hema yotzim v'aya piryo l'machal V'alehu l'trufa. Amalehu Saba Yiyasher. Good job. V'chein Rabbi Yochanan Yiyasher. Good job. You're right. You see clearly from the pasuk that there will be a nachal that will come in mizeh mizeh. There will be an eitz ma'achal and there'll be beautiful peros. Amalehu Yirmiyah Rabbi Zera ki hagavna mechse apikorsa. This guy's an apikoris. What's the problem? So they originally thought that the apikoris was the Saba, the old man who said, "Good job. You're right." It sort of sounds like the rabbi who spoke needed his approval. Sounded like Rabbi Yirmiyah who spoke, he needed the Saba's approval. And like the Saba saying, okay, you're right. Like, I don't necessarily need your approval. Sort of sounds a little bit chutzpahdik to say like, oh, you have my, don't worry, Rabbi, I got your back. So, Amr Lei, so he said back to him, Ha siyua kamisayeh alei lecha. So, he says back to him, he says, this is not considered to be apikorsis. It means originally he thought it was apikorsis because it's like, the Saba is questioning him, or the Saba is giving him a stamp of approval. He's saying, that's not apikorsis. He's not questioning you. He's not saying that you need a stamp of approval. He's just being nice, and he's supporting what you're saying and saying that he enjoys and likes what you're saying. That's what the Gemara says. Rather, you want to know what apikorsis is? I'll tell you what apikorsis is. This is real apikorsis. Yochanan gave the following drasha. In the future, when Yerushalayim is rebuilt, Kodesh Baruch Hu will bring avanim and margolios, pearls, that will be 30 by 30 amos, which is approximately, we said, 20 amos is 30 feet, so 30 amos is 1.5, it's about 1.5, it's about 45 feet, let's say. There'll be big 45 by 45 foot stones, and there'll be a lot of them. And within the stones, they'll pile them up to make the walls of Yerushalayim, pretty big stones. I wonder, how big are the stones at the Kotel now? How big are those? Those are not... well, there's a few feet by a few feet. Each stone, they're not 45 by 45. But within these stones, there's going to be a window, like an opening of 20 feet by 30 feet, or 15 feet by 30 feet. Within this big stone of 45 by 45, there'll be a big opening. What's that for? The big opening will not be just in the middle, seemingly, as we understand now. It'll be for people to walk through. So there'll be a huge stone, and then they'll carve out an opening which will be 20 amos tall, like 30 feet tall, and 10 amos wide for people to walk through. Shenamar, as it says in the pasuk in Yeshayahu, V'samti kadkor shim shosayich usharayich la'avnei akdach v'chol gulech la'avnei chayvetz. Ligleg alav oso talmud. So there was one talmud there who started making fun of the rabbi. Amar hashta kibiyasa ditziltzal olam mashkechinan kulei hai mashkechinan. Now we don't have even the size of the eggs of an oaf, of a chicken or of a bird. We don't even have avanim that are that big. You tell me they're going to have avanim that are going to be 45 feet by 45 feet? Ridiculous. So one day he set sail on a boat. When he was in the ocean, he saw that the Malachei Asharis were cutting out avanim. They were cutting out these huge 45 by 45 stones. Amar lahu, hi meshkechinan. Amar lahu, hani laman. What are you cutting these out for? Amar yaseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, amidam Sha'ar Yerushalayim. We're cutting them out so that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can go ahead and put them in the Sha'ar Yerushalayim. Now he understood that what he had heard from Rabbi Yochanan was true. We have this Gemara already. For those that do Daf Yomi, where do we have it?
I don't remember.
Baba Basra. Got a chazer. Says the Gemara, sorry, so when he came back, he saw that Rabbi Yochanan was Darish. Amalei, Rabbi Darish, Lidrosh. You're right. I saw the stones. Just like you said, you're right. I doubted you, but you're right. Amalo Reika, you empty one. Imlo Reisa lo emanta. If you didn't see the stones, you wouldn't have believed me? Melagle galav divrei chachamim ata al divrei chamata yoy beinai ve'asu gal shel atzamos. Remember that part at least? So he looked at him and he became a pile of bones. You don't forget that part. That part of the story you don't forget. The jokes and the death.
It's burnt into us.
It's burnt into us, yes.
The stories.
So the stories and the things. So he said that you're not Bikoris because you only believe me if you see with your own eyes. You don't trust me. Therefore he looked at him and he turned into a pile of atzavos. Meisvei. Now we have a kasha. Usually we say we don't ask kasha the maises. We have a kasha on the maisa. The kasha is that you see that there were stones that were 45 by 45 and they cut this, and the problem is, as we'll see in a second, the people at the time of the Binyan Beis Midrash, the people will come back. I don't know if it's Chiyas Mason, whatever it is, they're going to come back and they're going to be huge. They're going to be 100 to 200 amos tall. So how are the Jewish people who are going to be huge, how are they going to fit through gates? They're only 20 amos tall. Pasuk says, I will bring you upright. What does koma miyus mean? You'll be double the size of Adam Rishon, who was 100 amma, so you'll be 200 amma, which again is approximately 300 feet tall. As Rashi explains, we see in the Pasuk Shneamar, it says in the Pasuk in Tehillim, Asher banenu kinetiyim megudalim, our children are like netiyim megudalim, huge. Binureim, benoseim, kizavios, mechutavos, tavnis heichal, they're like the heichal. And the measurement of the heichal from the front to the back is 100 amos. Therefore, they'll be either 100 amos or 200 amos tall. How are they going to get through these gates that are only 20 amos tall? Kikam Rabbi Yochanan, lekoi de bezika. You're right. He wasn't talking about the openings for the walking. Those will be taller. The 20 amos were just the windows. Within the Sha'ar Yerushalayim, they had entrances, and then in other places, they just had big windows that were 20 amos by 10 amos, 15 feet by 30 feet. Within these big stones of 45 by 45 feet, they made windows for light, and they made windows, etc. So you ask, how could they have such big windows? How could they have such big things? So either they can close them if they need to, or seemingly they're not going to be attacked, Mir Tashem, at that time when the world lives in peace. Why do they need walls? It's a good question. Mai v'alehu l'trufa. It says in that pasuk of the Nachal that the leaves, besides the fruit being delicious, the leaves will be for a trufa. The leaves will be for a healing. What does that mean? So there's a few opinions. To help the upper mouth, i.e. the mouth we talk from. The lower mouth. What does that mean? Itmar, Chizkiel Amar Lahatir Pe Ilmin. What does it mean to help the upper mouth? That means that at the time, if you touch or look or maybe taste this leaf, so people that are deaf-mute, when they taste from this leaf, will be able to open up their upper mouth. Barkav from Lahatir Pe Alkaros. The bottom mouth means that people that are barren, that can't have children, women that are barren, when they eat this leaf, so then they'll be able to open up their bottom mouth and they'll be able to have children. Rabbi Yochanan Amar L'Trufa Mamish. It'll mamish be like a medicine. You'll eat it and it'll solve whatever problems you have. My L'Trufa, another opinion, Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nachmani Amar, L'Toar Panim Shel Baalei Peh. It will go and it will whiten the face of people that are Baalei Peh. What does that mean? Darash Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Simon, Kol HaMashchir Panav Al Divrei Torah B'olam-hazeh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mavik Zivav L'olam-haba. Shenemar Mar'eu Kalavanon B'chor Karazim. What does that mean? That a person who blackens their face in this world, that means you go ahead and you don't have any physical pleasures in this world. You blacken your face, you deprive yourself of physical pleasures in this world. In the next world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will whiten your face. He'll give you the light of Kadosh Baruch Hu. Amr Tancha Bar Chanilai. Furthermore, about Torah. Kol Amar V'atzmal Divrei Torah B'olam hazeh. Anybody who goes ahead and makes himself hungry because of Divrei Torah in this world, it means he doesn't enjoy this world too much because he's busy learning. Kadosh Baruch Hu Mazbio La'olam-haba. Kadosh Baruch Hu gives him enough, fills him up in the next world. Shenamar, as it says in the pasuk in Tehillim, Yirviu mideshem beinecha v'nachal adonecha tashkem. You'll have all of the adonim. Shnamar Baruch Hashem Yom Yom Yamas Lanu El Yishua Tzei Nusela. We just said that. What is omso? You're going to get the entire full hand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take a hand of whatever schar he's going to give you, whatever that means, connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he's going to give it to every tzaddik. Zok the Gemara, how's that possible? Amalei Bai v'chiyef shalom arkain. V'lo kfar nemar, it says, Mi madad b'shalomayim, v'shamayim b'zeres tikain. We know, as Rashi explains, that the entire world can fit between the two fingers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, between the zeres and the agodel. So if the entire world could fit between these two fingers, so then how is it possible that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give an entire handful of schar? That's more than the entire world. What does that mean? Says the Gemara, Amar, my time elo shchichas bagata. You're not learning enough Gemara. You're not learning enough Agadata. Obviously, it's not quote unquote literal. The whole idea is not literal. You may have heard this. This is the end of the Uksin, the end of Mishnayos. That it says, I'm going to give those who love me yesh. What does that mean? Yesh, yesh begematria, tzlas mea v'asara have. Shin yud is 310. Those who learn Torah, those who serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu will get 310 worlds. Obviously, again, that's more than this world. You can see the Marsha there, but it means that it's more than this because, again, it's an agadata that we're just going to give a lot of schar. 310 worlds, and therefore you say I'm going to give a whole hand of schar. Yes, even though this world fits within these two fingers, Lamais, at the end of the day, there'll be a lot of schar for those who learn Torah and those that are tzaddikim. Tanya Rabbi Meir Omer, b'midah shada moded moded in lo. The way that you act, Kadosh Baruch Hu acts towards you. And it's not just midah keneged midah. This means that what you go ahead and you give, that's how much Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you in schar. Dichsiv, as it says in the pasuk in Yeshayahu, Bisasa b'shalcha tirivena. What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Yeshua. So the way that Rashi explains is that if you give a whole hand worth of money to a poor person, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you a whole hand worth of schar. So the same question. It says, if you give a whole hand of money in this world, we know that the entire world fits between here. So if I give a whole hand, how's he going to give me a whole hand of schar? The entire world fits between two fingers. What does that mean? He's going to give me a whole hand of schar. So again, similar idea. You don't even hold this, so now he says back to him, what do you mean? You don't hold this? Obviously it's not literal like we just said. It just means he's giving a lot of schar. What's the proof that we're going to get so much schar, even more than this world? Because we're going to compare it to how much punishment HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives. We know that, says the Gemara, Ezu midah meruba. If I ask you, which is greater? Midah tova meruba or midas pranos? Which is greater? Having good midos or bad midos? Or i.e., HaKadosh Baruch Hu rewarding or HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishing? Says the Gemara, Havi Omer midah tova meruba midas pranos. And I'll bring you a proof that HaKadosh Baruch Hu rewards more proportionally than he punishes. Where do we see this? By midah tova ksiv, because it says by midah tova when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's reviewing in Tehillim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the man. It says by yitzav shchakim imal v'dalte shamayim pesach v'yimater aleihem man le'achol. So they see that. What does he do? He gave them man. How much man did he give them? He opened up the dalte shamayim, the doors of heaven. So he opens up the doors of heaven. Therefore, what? Uvemidas poranos hu omer varubas hashemayim niftachu. In this past week's parsha, in Yana Dioma, he opened up the windows. So you see that when he was bringing the rain, the flood, he only brought it from the windows. When he was giving shefa, when he was giving man, he brought it from the doors, which are much bigger, because the midah tova is always going to be more proportionally to the midah ra. And therefore, b'midas poranos ksiva yetziv ra b'pigri anashim aposhimbi. When it talks about in Yeshayahu at the end of days the bodies of the army of Gog and Magog, and what are you going to see? Kitolasam lo samus. There's going to be worms all over them. V'asham lo tichbeh, and their bodies will not burn up. Vayuderon l'chol basar. What does that mean? V'lo adam moshe etzbao be'or be'olam-hazeh miyad nichveh. We know that in this world, if you go ahead and you touch a fire, especially if you burn it. And if you keep a body burning for a few minutes, unfortunately the body goes. But over there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to punish them so much that he did a miracle that the worms consistently and constantly for a long time were able to go ahead and just keep chewing away at the body, and the body just kept there. And it was able to burn continuously. Usually it burns up. It burned continuously to continue to give them punishment. So if you see that that's how much punishment they got, a non-natural amount of punishment, and we know that when you give a reward to Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's greater than when you give punishment, as we saw the doors of heaven versus the windows of heaven. Kal v'chomer, and Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to repay the tzaddikim for all their schar. It's going to be an unnatural amount, and even though again the entire world fits between these two fingers, at the end of the day it could be 310 worlds, it could be a whole hand worth of schar, etc., etc. El kashem shenos Kadosh Baruch Hu koach b'sham lekabel poranusam, kach nos Kadosh Baruch Hu koach b'tzaddikim lekabel tovasan. Fine. Another person that doesn't have a share in the olam-haba. Rabbi Kiva mer afa kori b'sfarim achitzonim. If you read non-Jewish books, Tana b'sifrei tzedukim. So over here, one opinion says sifrei tzedukim. Don't worry, if you read Sports Illustrated, you might still have a schar in olam-haba. Maybe, maybe not. Can't guarantee. But guaranteed not if you read sifrei tzedukim. Sifrei minim, sifrei tzedukim. This is talking about heretical works.
Well,
this idea.
But if it's minim, it's most likely Christian.
Maybe. But that's why it's all censored out, I believe. That's why it's censored out. Tzedukim. This says tzedukim, but this text says, the Koran says, but in the actual Gemara it says minim?
In the Koran Gemara.
In the Koran Gemara it says minim. Well, if you look at the bays there, so it doesn't say, but there are Gemaras, right, that it was censored out. Over here it says tzedukim, in other Gemaras it says minim. But the point is that it's not talking about Sports Illustrated over here. Again, not saying that you should or shouldn't read it, but it's not what this is talking about. This seems to be talking about Sifrei Minim, Sifrei Tzedukim. Yosef Amar, Yosef says, this seems to include Sports Illustrated, but Sefer Ben Sira Nami Asr Lemikri. The Sefer Ben Sira. Now, I think there's a whole discussion in the Rishonim, if the Sefer Ben Sira is a Sefer Min, is a Sefer Tzeduki. The way the Gemara seems to talk now for the rest of the daf, it's not talking about anything heretical in the Sefer Ben Sira. It's just giving examples. It's going to give examples of things that are frivolous, things that are pointless, things that are meaningless. It's going to give phrases that the Ben Sira's book has that were meaningless. So it doesn't seem to be saying that it's a Sefer Tzeduki or Sefer Minim, even though there are those who learn like that. Says the Gemara, Amalei Abaye my time. So what does it say in the Sefer Ben Sira that makes it to be such a frivolous book that if you read it, you're wasting your life away and you're not going to have a share in the world to come? So we're going to give a few examples of what it says, and we're going to see if those are the reasons why you shouldn't read it, or what's wrong with those. First example, what it says in Ben Sira. Lo tintosh gildana me'odnei, de lo lezo mashkache lechavla. Elatzali yase benura ve'echo be tartin grisin. As Rashi says, you should not take off the skin of the dog, even from its ear, because you're ending up to lose the skin. Don't skin an animal, don't skin a dog, because you're going to go ahead and you're going to waste some of the skin. What should you do? Rather, you should tzali it, you should cook it, you should enjoy the food, and you could even make use of the ore because you can get the oils from the skin and you can use it to dip your bread in. If you go ahead and you skin it, then you're basically wasting all the skin. If you take it and you cook it, you put it into fire, then you can go ahead and you can make the most of it and you can dip your bread even in the oils of the ore. Says it's basically not to waste something. Not to waste something. That's what it seems to be saying. Says the Gemara, if you take it literally, so what's wrong with saying that? Why is that so frivolous? We know in the Torah it says you shouldn't knock down, shouldn't destroy a fruit-bearing tree, because again, you don't want to get rid of something that has purpose. So it's the same thing here. You shouldn't get rid of the dog. You shouldn't just skin it and throw out the skin. You should make usage of it. So what's so bad about that? The Gemara says that our Torah says the same thing. If you're making a drasha, orach ara kamashmal delivo shalo kedarka. So me'odnei, they learn from the word me'odnei that lemaisa, you can learn this as a drasha, the Sefer Ben Sira, saying that you shouldn't have bia shalo kedarka. You shouldn't change your ways. So either way, it's saying something that doesn't seem to be so frivolous. It's either saying something that's clearly in the Torah or something that we learn from Chazal, which makes a lot of sense. So at the end of the day, that's not why Ben Sira is a problem to read. So rather, it must be something else that's in Ben Sira that's a problem. What does it say? Bas la'aviha mitmunas shav, a daughter for a father is a false treasure. Mefachta lo yisham balayla, because she makes him nervous. He doesn't sleep at night. Why? Why does a father not sleep at night when he has a girl? Bikadnusa shema titbata. When she's young, he's worried that she's going to be seduced. Binu rasa shema tizne. When she becomes older, he's worried she's going to go off the derech and she's going to be mizana. When she gets a little bit older, he's worried she's not going to have any shidduchim, she's not going to get married. When she gets older, he's worried that she's not going to have any children. And if she gets older, the way the Rishonim explain, if she gets older and still doesn't have any children, then we're worried that what's going to happen? He's going to go to sorcery in order to try to have children for her. So says the Gemara, what's wrong with that? The Rabbanan said the same thing. How could that be a problem? The rabbi said the same thing in the Gemara. What they say? We need men and we need women in this world. Everything's fine as long as you have a boy. Woe is to one who has daughters. Why? Seemingly for these reasons. We always say that it's good to have girls because girls are skula to have boys. So at the end of the day, lamaisa, that's what the Gemara says. The Gemara over there says. What? Bat chila siman labanim. If you have a girl first, it's good. Not only because she helps out, but because lamaisa. Once I had one girl, I wanted to have another girl, the second one, because then I figured by the time they're like 10 years old, I'm off the hook and I don't have to do anything. But lamaisa, Hashem had other plans, so girl, boy, girl, and okay, we'll see the next one. Now I have no say whatever happens. So at the end of the day, you see over here that the Gemara says the same thing that Ben Sira says. That it's better to have boys because there's less to worry about. Again, Lamaisa today, it's not necessarily the same thing. We worry about plenty of things with boys also. But the point is that the Gemara is saying that there is an aspect. Now, it doesn't mean boys versus girls and girls are better or boys are better. No. The point is that both of them, the Ma'alech, is that there's something a little bit more nerve-wracking in this aspect of marriage and children when it comes to girls. And we still see that today, Lamaisa. It's a little bit harder with dating with girls than it is with boys. So at the end of the day, you see that Chazal say the same thing. So it can't be that Ben Sira was outlawed or you shouldn't read it because it's narishkeit, because Chazal say the same thing as Ben Sira says. So it must be something else. So what does the Gemara say? So it's better not to worry too much. Don't let worrying daiga take hold of you, because if you stress too much and you worry too much, it'll kill you. So what's wrong with that? Hashlom arma daiga belevish yishchena. Yashchena. He said the same thing. Shlomo Melech said that if you have a lot of daiga, you can have yashchena. Rav Amir Vasi Chadamar Yasichena midaito. One learned it and said you should get rid of it in your mind. If you stress, if you have daiga, if you have worry, get rid of it. It's harmful for you. The Chadamar Yasichena lacherim. This is the route for psychologists. And the other said you should go ahead and you should talk to a psychologist. You should talk to other people. But either way, Shlomo Melech says the same exact thing. So the fact that Ben Sira says it, what it makes it, it's actually smart. They're copying what Chazal say, what Shlomo Melech said. Ella, what's the problem with Ben Sira? Mishum dechsiv, because it says, Mana rabim mitoch beisacha, don't have too many friends, don't go on Facebook, v'lo hakol tavi al beisacha. And you shouldn't go and bring people into your house. As Rashi explains, even people, if you have a lot of friends, even if you don't have a lot of friends, when you have friends, don't bring them in your house. Keep them outside. Because when you bring them in your house, you get too friendly with people, then you start to have problems and you start to have arguments. For Rabbi Nami Amar, what's the problem with that? Rabbi said the same thing. Ditani Rabbi Omer la'olam lo yarbe adam reim b'soch beis shenamar, as it says in the pasuk in Mishlei, ish reim l'hisroreya. Too many friends causes problems. So we still haven't found a problem. So now we say, okay, the following 4 or 5 statements, these are going to be frivolous anecdotes, and therefore this is why you shouldn't read Ben Sira. What are the following anecdotes that are silly? El Mishum Dechsiv. It says, Latgan Kortaman, Avdakan Sichsein. If you have a thin beard, it means you're smart. And if you have a thick beard, that means you're not so smart. The second statement, Dinafach Bekise Lotzachi. If a person blows away the froth of their drink, it means that they're not thirsty. Because if they were thirsty, then they wouldn't go ahead and bother blowing off the froth. They would just drink it right away. Third one, Amar b'may echol lach malacha sav minei. If you say, which topping should I put on this lechem, you're obviously not hungry. Because if you were hungry, you would just eat the lechem right away without waiting for the cream cheese. Fourth, man de isle ma'varta bedikne kuleyama lo yachlilei. If a person has a split beard, you shouldn't mess with them, because it means that they're spending all day going like this, thinking of things that they should be doing, thinking of ways to conquer the world. And if they have a split beard, that means, Elamaisa, you don't want to mess with them because they have everything planned out. Those are frivolous things, and that's why you can't read Ben Sira. Amr of Yosef, so Rav Yosef says, Mile mal yisad de ispe darshina lehu. However, a rabbi is allowed to read Ben Sira, because if he needs to have anecdotes for drashas, he needs jokes and stories for drashas, then Lamaisi is allowed to read it. That's what Rashi says. Darshinan, the top first skinny line, Klomar amrinan lehu bepirka. How am I supposed to say it over in the parak if I don't read it? So you can't read it privately. But in public, you can mention some of the anecdotes that we mentioned, because there are still some good things in there that make a lot of sense. The ones that we mentioned above, which have, again, which are similar to Chazal, which are similar to Shlomo, and a few other examples. What else is good? What else are things that make a lot of sense? The following. Isha tova matana tova. A good wife is a good present. B'cheik yirei Elokim tina sein. A good wife is given as a good present to a person who fears God. Second, Isha ra tzara sabala. A bad wife is like leprosy to her husband. Maitakanti, how do you deal with the leprosy? You garshena mi beitzav yisrapi mitzaraso. Chase her out of the house, and you get rid of the leprosy. Halacha l'maisa. Isha yafe ashrei ba'ala. A beautiful wife is good for her husband. Mispar yamav kiflaim. If he lives till 70 or to 80, he's really living to 160, because his wife is so beautiful. So every day is like 2 days. That's a nice one. Hele meinacha me'eshes chein. You should stay away from a beautiful woman, and seemingly, especially a beautiful married woman. Penti laked b'mitzudasab. Maybe even a beautiful single woman, but for sure a beautiful married woman, because you're going to get caught in her trap. Definitely don't spend time with her husband. Because with many beautiful married women, there's been a lot of destruction. She causes a lot of pain, a lot of problems, because at the end of the day, adultery and the like. As Rashi explains, people that are rochels, people that are peddlers, people that sell women accessories, that's not a good job either, because if you sell women accessories, you end up hanging out with women too much, and then the husbands get jealous, and they come and they beat you up. A person who's involved with frivolous things and immorality is like a nitzot. It's like a little, it's like blowing onto a gacheles, onto a spark, on a piece of coal, kiklov maleof, kembatem maleyim mirma. And similarly, that was, it's going to be like a fire. If you're involved in immorality, Kadosh Baruch Hu will destroy your house, and just like a coop that's filled with oaf, that person's house will be filled with bad things and trickery. Keep people out of your house, and don't let everybody in, as we said. Rabim yiyu dorshei shlomecha. A lot of people will ask you to be friends with them. Again, Facebook, Goles sodcha la'echad me'alef. Don't share your entire life with thousands of people. Don't even share it maybe with 1 in 1,000. Literally, this means even the person that sleeps next to you, even your wife, you should be careful not to tell too much. Here's a good one. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow because you may not be here tomorrow, and then you ended up worrying about a olam that's not yours. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do good things. We shouldn't worry about frivolous things about tomorrow, because at the end of the day, you may not be here to be able to enjoy tomorrow. Kol yamai, all of my days are kol yamei ani raim. All the days of a poor person are bad. Ben Sira Omer, Af leilos b'shval gagim gago, uvimarum harim karmo. Even the gagim, even their roofs are bad at night, and the marum harim is karmo, and their vineyards are on the top of the harim. What does this mean? Mimatar gagim lagago, ume'afar karmo lekramim. Rashi explains, what's the problem? Look at the left side, like 10 lines on the bottom. Sha'ani huvein yochol agbio lefichach mamtir gagim legago. Shiyorid matar gagim agvoim legago mizalf malav agsham ve'ilo menucha afilu beleilos. I guess he can't afford to have like a tall roof, so what ends up happening is everybody else's roofs who have money are higher. All the rain goes onto the roof and then leaks down or goes down off of their roof and falls onto the ani's roof. And therefore, when it's raining at night, or when it rained during the day, all the matar, all the rain is falling on his roof, and it's keeping him up the entire night from the noise of the constant banging on his roof, which is lower. And even when he has a vineyard or he has some fields, he's not going to be able to buy it in the nice spot. He's going to have to buy it on the top of the mountain. What's going to happen on the top of the mountain? It's going to be very windy. It's going to blow all of the fertilizer and all of the good things down to all the people that have money, and he's going to end up with nothing. Siman Zira Rabba Misharia Chanina Tuvia Yana Yafa Yochanan Merechem Yeshua Mikartza. Let's just do a little bit more. Amar Zera Marav. My dechsiv kol yimei ani raim elu balei talmud. V'tov leiv mishnah tamid. What's good? Elu balei mishnah. So Mishnah is better than Gemara. Rashi explains why Mishnah is better than Gemara, because it's easier to understand Mishnah than Gemara. Mishnah is a lot easier. Gemara is much harder to understand. Rav Amar Dafka, the opposite. Ifcha, we know that the more effort you put in, the more reward you get. Ifcha, it's the opposite, and therefore, since Talmud is harder, when you actually chop it and you get it, it's going to feel even more geschmack than Mishnah, which is a lot easier. Says the Gemara, V'hainu damer Rav Misharsha Mishmei de Rav Amaydachsiv. What does it say in the pasuk in Koheles Masiya Vanim Yeyasev Bahem Elu Bali Mishnah? Mishnah is compared to stones. Ubokei Eitzim Yisken Bam Elu Bali Talmud. And the Talmud is compared to wood. Why is that compared to stones versus wood? Like we're saying, according to this opinion. Stones you can't make fire with. Wood you can make fire with. Therefore, Talmud is greater because you can make fire with wood. Zak the Gemara, Rabbi Chanina Omer, Kol Yemei Ani Rayim. What does that mean? Zemi Sheyeshel Ishara. Bad wife, poor, bad life. B'tov leiv mishta tamid zeh sheyeshel isha tova. You have a good wife, everything else falls into place. Rabbi Yanai Omer, Kol Yemei Ani Rayim. Zeh istinus. If you're a very uptight person, if you're an istinus, very careful about everything, you're not going to have a good life. You're going to be nervous your whole life. Type A. V'tov leiv mishta tamid zeh shadaito yaf. And not necessarily type A, but somebody that's very uptight about everything. Person who's much more calm and relaxed and cool and calm and collected, that person will have a much easier life. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kol Yemei Ani Re'im Zeh Rachmani. Interesting. If you have too much Rachmanis on people, you're going to end up getting burnt. V'tov leiv mishta tamid zeh achzari. Achzari usually means like tough. But if you're tough, to a certain extent, I'm not saying you should be tough versus Rahmana, but it's saying don't be too much of a pushover. Stand up for yourself as well. Rabbi Shua ben Levi Amar Kol Yemei Ani Rayim. Next page. Zeh Shadaito Kitsara. if you have a das is very kitzara, if you're, again, as Rashi says, if you're always worrying about what's going to happen to you, if you're not worrying as much, you're more chilled, then you'll have a better life. Remember, Shua ben Levi, finally, fascinating. He says, I don't understand. How can it be that all the days of a poor person are bad? Even a poor person is going to get some herring on Shabbos. People are going to make sure that he eats. People are going to make sure that he has food. So at least once a week, or for one meal a week, he's going to have food to eat. What does that mean? Every single one of his days are going to be ani? Says Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Kiddush Shmuel. De Amar Shmuel, Shinoi Veses Tchilas Cholim Me'ayim. No, it's bad because even when he has food, because imagine, you don't eat the whole week and then you have cholent once a week. So what happens? That ruins your entire inner system, your stomach. So even though, yes, he's eating, he's still poor on Shabbos because at the end of the day, when you're out of a vesa, what's a vesa? By Hilchos Nida. Vesa literally means routine, regulating. When you're out of the routine, then Lamaisa, you're going to have problems. Shkoyach, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.